Hello and welcome to episode 130 of Things I've Learned from Barry Harris. And today I thought we would talk about the end of Ladybird, which Barry refers to as Ladybird Turnback. I've been discussing it with all the classes over at Open Studio Pro, and we've been having a blast looking at both the single note concepts, but we've also been looking at the harmonic concepts for just chording, and we were looking at it through the lens of Barry's scales of chords. So for those of you that don't know, the Ladybird Turnback is C major to E flat 7 to A flat major to D flat 7. That's the turnaround. It's 2 beats of C major, 2 beats of E flat 7, 2 beats of A flat major, 2 beats of D flat 7. So when we were looking at it, we said, let's take a look at all the scales of chords that you should probably work on to just know this turnaround. So the first scale of chords was C major 6 diminished. That's one of them. The second one was E flat 7 diminished. The third one would be A flat 6 diminished. Sorry. And the last one would be D flat 7 diminished. So those would be like the four little scales of chords. So what we first started off doing was the C major 6 diminished. Every inversion, where's the closest E flat 7? And then where's the closest A flat 6? And then where's the closest D flat 7? So we just said, for instance, here's C6, starting on the 3rd fret of the A string. And we said, where's the closest E flat 7? Well, there it is on the 4th fret, which is from the flat 7th. So then we got C major 6, there's the E flat 7. Now you have two different places you can go. You can go down to get that A flat 6, or you can go up with the 5th in the bass to get that A flat 6. Both of those are pretty. So you got, and then the last one is going to be another D flat 7. Or you could have gone up for the D flat 7. So let's hear what that sounds like. All those are pretty. Let's try it. A flat 6 here, and then maybe that's pretty too. So we got, now let's try the next one. C6 to E flat 7, A flat 6 maybe to E flat 7. That's a pretty one. So we got 2, 3, 4, all these are pretty. Let's try the C6 from here. So now we got, last one would be D flat 7. All these are so pretty. Let's try the one from here. All those are pretty. Now, where it gets interesting is if we say, let's do some different things with, like, for instance, the C major. The first chord that it says in the book is, I think, C major 7. Now, we as Barry people know the major 7 can be gotten in two different ways. You can borrow a note from the C6 from the diminished. There's the major 7. Or you could say G6 over the C, which gives you the 6th on the 5th, what Barry calls the 6th on the 5th. So now that's pretty too. So now you should know all your G6s to the E flat 7s, which is really pretty. So then we'll say G6 to E flat 7 to A flat 6 to D flat 7. Those are all pretty. Now then there's that move of G6 to C6, which is really pretty. So we got G6 to C6. That's a really pretty move. So we should know that move every place. G6 to C6. This one. So now you should know all these little tricks. So like 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry. But see how that G6 to C6 is pretty. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry. These are really pretty. Wait, G6 again. All those are pretty. So now we did G6 to C6, which is really pretty. Now if you did G6 to C6 with the diminished in between, which is pretty. So you got G6, and then we turned it into C6 by lowering 2 notes a whole step. But if you lower those same two notes a half step, you have it diminished. So now you have this little movement. I love this sound. You should be able to do this with every inversion. And this one. So now we'll say maybe that's a pretty one. Let's try that again. Okay, so now that's G6 to C6. But if we do G6 to C6, that's fine. We could also do the same thing for A flat, because A flat's a major chord. The 6 on the 5th of the A flat is E flat 6. So we should get used to doing that too. So for instance, here's G6 to C6. Here's E flat 7. Now here's E flat 6 to A flat 6. And then D flat 7. That's a pretty move. So if we said, watch, really pretty. Now, let's talk about the dominants for a second. What if we decided to do this? Those are the 6 on the 5th of the majors. The 6 on the 5th of the dominants are minor 6s. So for instance, for the E flat 7, we have a 6 on the 5th of the E flat 7, which is B flat minor 6. So now, instead of thinking C6 going to E flat 7, or this to this, maybe we'll think C6 to B flat minor 6. So maybe we could say, which is really pretty. That's a nice move. So now you have to learn all your C6s to B flat minor 6s. Every inversion of C6 to B flat minor 6, every single one. C6 to B flat minor 6, every one. So pretty. So now you might say, and then, but again, if we're saying the 6 on the 5th of E flat 7, why don't we also say the 6 on the 5th of the D flat 7? So now we have C6 or G6 to C6, and then we have B flat minor 6 because that's the 6 on the 5th of the E flat 7. And then we have E flat 6 to A flat 6. And now instead of D flat 7, let's do on the 6 on the 5th of D flat 7, which is A flat minor 6. So that little last part is like A flat 6 to A flat minor 6. So that's a nice move. So now we got, let's say, C6 to B flat minor 6, A flat 6, A flat minor 6. I like that sound. So now we got, let's see. That's pretty. Let's do all the inversions of that. C6, B flat minor 6, A flat 6, A flat minor 6. Love that. C6, B flat minor 6, A flat 6. No, did I do that right? No. A flat 6, A flat minor 6. All these are so pretty. Let's see. Let's do the next A flat 6. And then A flat minor 6. Why can't I see this fast enough? Oh, that's right. So let's do that one again. So look at what we started off with. We started off with C to E flat 7 to A flat to D flat. And then by the time we ended, we were doing things like G6 to C6 to B flat minor 6 to A flat major 6, or E flat 6 to A flat major 6 to A flat minor 6. Look at all the different ways that we're talking about it. And what's interesting is I'm only looking at drop 2s. This is all just drop 2 stuff. What if we just did triads, or if we took Thomas's elevator and we started moving around in contrary motion with all these different things? Now it's a little bit hard because you only have 2 beats for each thing. But there are ways to work it out where it'll just sound beautiful. So the first things first, take a look at all these different drop 2 little movements, and there are so many. So what we're doing over at Open Studio is on the Open Studio website, everybody's posting their different version of their Ladybird turnback. And to me, the Ladybird turnbacks that they're doing are beautiful, and ones I never thought of. So that's what's fun about getting together. And to me, that was probably one of the great things about getting together at Barry's classes. It's a whole bunch of people who were there for the same reason, and you can really hyper focus on one particular thing, like this ending. It's only 2 bars. Most people just breeze through this. They learn one way to play it, and that's the end of it. But if you ever studied with Barry for even a minute, you know he could take something that was 2 bars and turn it into something that you could practice for months. And that's what's so beautiful about the music. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little window into the kind of things that we've been working on over at Open Studio Pro. And I highly suggest you go over there. I'll leave a link in the description and check it out. Anyway, until next time.